So for the past 2 weeks, I've been testing Samsung's new $99 Galaxy Buds FE, a very promising pair of earbuds, which brought back that wingtip, which is very comfortable and very secure. And I have to say, these could have easily disrupted the entire earbuds market and become my most recommended earbuds of 2023. But they didn't. There are two design choices that I think are holding them back from that legendary potential, and instead they're just solid, which is great. Like, they're an easy recommendation, and if you purchase them, I don't think you'll regret it. But let's get into it and figure out what those two things are that kind of hold them back from being like a really legendary pair of earbuds. So after my initial hands-on time a couple weeks ago, maybe that was 3 weeks ago now, I made a video for you guys showing generally what these earbuds were, but I wasn't allowed to try them on, which means I didn't get to test out the microphone, the sound quality, the ANC, and most importantly, the fit and the comfort. Now, I knew the fit and comfort was going to be good because they have that same wingtip design we saw on the Galaxy Buds Plus and the original Galaxy Buds, which I was a huge fan of, and I recommended those for many, many years. But now that I've actually had some hands-on time for about 2 weeks now of actually wearing these every day, I could say, yeah, that's exactly what I expected. It's fantastic. The comfort is really solid. The security is great. Like, typically, most earbuds fall out of my left ear if I'm running or working out, like doing burpees, whatever. The wingtip holds them in perfectly for both of my ears, and I think it's easy to say that most people out there would have a very secure fit with these. They're easy to recommend for working out for that purpose. As far as comfort goes for a long work day, again, the silicone was a little bit more rigid than I remembered, but still perfectly comfortable for me. I really didn't have any ear fatigue. I actually also fell asleep with these a couple times, and again, they really did the job. They're great. And I'm a big fan of the design of these earbuds, not just for fit and comfort, but the aesthetics of them, the case, everything about it just is really nice, except of course they don't have wireless charging. That was a weird drawback that Samsung chose, and that's one of the two main design choices that it feels like it would have been so easy to add, because this is the same case geometry generally as the entire Galaxy Buds lineup, and they all have wireless charging. So it should be pretty easy for Samsung to use a lot of the same components and just add wireless charging for a pretty low price. But it feels like Samsung omitted that just to make the other ones justified so that these didn't outsell them. But something that these do really well, actually, there's a lot of things these earbuds do really well, but one of them is the microphone, especially in an indoor environment. So let's actually get into a microphone test now. So this is what it sounds like with the Galaxy Buds FE talking in an indoor environment. And there is actually like a transparency, like a hear-through mode, so I can hear myself speaking as I talk. So I feel like I don't have to yell when I'm on the phone. And generally, I was pretty impressed with this. Like, for a $100 pair of earbuds, the microphones were pretty decent in my opinion. But let's go outside to a louder environment and see how they perform there. All right, so I'm outside by a busy road right now. It's pretty dark, so sorry about that, but we're gonna see how this microphone actually performs. Yeah. And now this is what it sounds like with the onboard microphone. This is not the earbuds right here, just for some reference. By the way, I was thinking about this. Should I make a big Galaxy Buds comparison, like the FE versus the Galaxy Buds 2 versus the 2 Pro? Like, leave a comment, let me know like if you would actually watch that. I think I'm probably gonna make that, so definitely subscribe so you don't miss that video. But I think the microphones would probably be one of the most interesting comparisons in there. Like, I think this might be better than a lot of those microphones. And sound quality then is actually another really interesting aspect of these. I honestly just reviewed like the Sony SM5s and the Bose Ultras and the Jabra Elite 10s, like a lot of premium earbuds. So those are 3 to 4 times more expensive than these, so I need to keep that in mind when I'm discussing the audio quality. There's really no blatant issues that I see with the audio quality for these for their price, and I think it makes a lot of sense that they sound the way they do, and I think a lot of people would really enjoy them. But to describe them in more detail, just so you guys have a better idea of what the sound quality is on these, you're definitely getting a lot of warm bass lines. I listen to a lot of Goose, so Bob Don was one of the songs that starts off with a bass line, and it was really prominent, it's really warm. And so if you're listening to rock or rap, you're really gonna enjoy the bass lines a lot there, as well as like acoustic music too, if you like the bass end of it. But it can be a little bit bloated with the mid bass making vocals slightly less pronounced, probably a little bit more than slightly less pronounced. So this can lead to some weaker instrument separation, and honestly, they lack a little bit of detail in the snares and other higher instruments. Overall, it's a pretty fun, lively sound with some boosted bass, and although they lack a little bit of detail in the sound quality overall, I think they make up for that with better active noise cancellation than I honestly would expect for this price. So the active noise cancellation on these earbuds did a really impressive job of not only blocking out lower frequencies, as you can see right here from my jet noise test, where a higher number is better, meaning you're able to block out more white noise. And overall, like, yeah, they're not flagship level, but they're much better than a lot of earbuds, which are far more expensive than they are. In addition, in some other tests, testing higher voices as well as crowd sounds, which are both much more difficult and much more reliant on passive noise blocking, these did a good job. So remember earlier where I said the silicone was a little bit more firm and rigid than I remembered? Well, that actually tied into this a lot, and that really helps it in blocking those higher frequencies. Now, as far as transparency goes, the transparency or the hear-through mode on these was passable. Like, I could kind of hear things around me, but it wasn't by any means good. It didn't feel like a natural environment, and that's something Samsung has always kind of struggled with a little bit, and these in particular do sound much quieter. So if transparency is important to you, then I don't know, I just don't think these are the best ones for that. But when you connect these to your phone, I've been using the Galaxy S23 Ultra for these. There's a fit check in the app. You can also customize the tap and hold function for either earbud. When you're pairing it with any device, by the way, these obviously work best with a Galaxy device, but they work with anything, even an iPhone, any Bluetooth device out there. There's no button on the case, you'll notice that. So if you want to pair these, you just open it and then tap and hold the touchpads on both earbuds at the same time until you get a blinking light. There are quite a few other features on here, which Samsung's always done a good job of adding, but if you go to the app, you can see earbud settings is going to allow you to customize the equalizer. By default, I think it was pretty decent for these earbuds. There's also the ability to read notifications aloud. You have Bixby Voice Wake Up if you want to have some quick voice assistant without having to touch and hold. You can also have ambient sound during calls, which most earbuds don't really give you a choice on that, but with these, you can turn it on or off. And of course, there is in-ear detection, which is something that a lot of budget-friendly earbuds don't have. And they also have gaming mode in Samsung Labs, which gives you an even lower latency on these earbuds. And of course, these are tied into the Samsung SmartThings app, so you can find them if you lose them or for example, be notified when you leave them behind. And now as far as price goes, I know I said these were $99 and that's the MSRP, but being a Samsung product, they're always discounted. That's like what Samsung does. So I'll have an affiliate link below if you want to check it out. You can actually get $25 off right now for trading in any wired or wireless earbuds or headphones. So if you've got like old wired earbuds around, now you get $25 for them, even though they're probably not worth any of that. And I think there's also a 10% student discount as well. So if you do the math on that, that would bring these down to around like $68-ish. And I mean, for that price, like they're definitely a lot more compelling. But kind of summarizing the pros and cons of these earbuds, the pros, ultra long battery life, 6 hours in the earbuds, 21 with the case. When you have ANC on, without ANC, you're getting 8.5 hours in the earbuds and 30 hours with the case. Another big positive, the wingtip is back. Makes it so easy to recommend them for anybody, and you don't have to worry about the fit or the comfort or the stability when you're running, working out, whatever. Thirdly, the ANC was actually quite impressive, and fourth, like I said, we have quite a few software features in here that I was really happy to see. But you might notice I only mentioned one of those two things that Samsung omitted from these that I really didn't like. So the first drawback, as I mentioned, was the lack of wireless charging, which feels more like a business decision instead of a design constraint. And with that, they're also lacking a lot of other features, not a lot, but a couple other features that I was expecting to see here, like the ability to double tap your ear edge to change the volume, which pretty much every other pair of Galaxy Buds had, including the Galaxy Buds Plus, and voice detect. These don't have that either, so if you can't just speak and pause your music. Now, the second big drawback for me is that these don't have true multi-point connectivity, and Samsung keeps doing this as an artificial constraint, so they do switch seamlessly among like Samsung devices if I have like a Samsung phone and tablet, but if you have anything that's not Samsung, then it doesn't work with that. Like you can't have a non-Samsung laptop and then a Samsung phone and expect them to switch seamlessly. It feels so artificial, and Samsung probably should remove that in my opinion, but it's what they do. Additionally, they only have IPX2 water resistance, not a huge deal breaker, but a little bit less than average on most earbuds. So I think it would have been really easy for Samsung to add those things and really make these an incredible pair of earbuds. But instead, they're still comfortable, they're budget friendly, but they're intentionally omitting things, in my opinion, to encourage the sales of more premium models in their lineup. With that said, these are still a solid pair of earbuds, and for what they are, like they are fantastic earbuds. Like I don't really know of any other earbuds out there that perform better than these for like $68 or whatever the discounted price ends up being. So let me know what your thoughts are on the Galaxy Buds FE. I know the big one everyone's talking about is the wireless charging, but what do you think of these?